Hey everybody, just stopping at Sabres over here. Gotta feed the beast. Let's see what I can find today.
Sell the right item, the right way. American arbitrage. After a long, snowy Thanksgiving weekend, it's always great to get out into some sunshine and head to Sabres. I love it on a Sunday. Now, I head to the same section first every time, the toy section. Here's a good BOLO item if you guys don't know about it. Imagine X figures. The bigger ones like this one typically do decently by themselves, but also look out for the bags of just the smaller figures. Typically superhero or stuff like that does better than the rest. And from here, I always head to the bagged toy section. There's a lot of value in the bagged toy section at Sabres, Goodwills, and other thrift stores. There's so many toys out there, vintage and new, that have value, action figures in particular, that they just don't know about. And you get a whole bag of them for $3 or $4, and you can make some money. In this case, I found a couple Monster Jam trucks, a Iron Man and a Captain America. So I picked that bag up for sure. Next on to the electronics section. I don't typically do too well here. The stuff is priced right on what it's worth, or sometimes a little much. And I do look for remotes, I look for game controllers, stuff like that. Occasionally find stuff. Next, I like to look to see if there's any cool mugs, any Lefton, any Finton glassware, any kind of cookware possibly that could be worth anything. Didn't find anything today, unfortunately. Now, you're going to see that I go straight for a statue bobblehead. This is a stadium giveaway. I will tell you more about that later on in the video, so stay tuned for that. I head to the collectibles section next. You pay a little bit more in the collectibles section, but there typically is more valuable stuff. Didn't find anything in the cases today, but I did find some comic books that were not too expensive here coming up. Here's a couple different things that have a little bit of value. Here are the comic books. Shout out to Primetime Treasure Hunter. He loves comics, and there's a lot of value if you find the right ones. These are mostly modern, but I did find one modern one that I could get a little bit of money on it. All right, just got out of Sabres. Let me show you what I got. Let's start out with this comic book, Escape from Alcatraz. It is issue number 1. You know, Alcatraz stuff in general does really well if you find it. I found a few like salt and pepper shakers back in the day, like prisoners and stuff. Historical places, historical events, oftentimes, especially if they're done kind of like in a, in a comic book, kind of like graphic novel almost kind of style, can have some value. This is worth about 10 plus shipping. I got it for 99 cents, if you can see that. Next up, I got a bag of toys. Unfortunately, there weren't as many toys as I would have liked to buy. There was a lot of toys, but this was the only bag that I decided to get, and it was because of these Monster Jams. That is a Captain America, and this is an Iron Man. If you can see it, that's actually part of a 2-pack. That's worth maybe $15, $20. I figure loose, especially saving on shipping, I can get about $10 plus shipping. Now, it also has a couple Fisher-Price vehicles. I can probably get another 3 or 4 plus shipping. So for $4, see if you can see that, for $4, I think it was worth my while. Let's go on to the next thing. This is an interesting thing. Now, you always want to look for bobbleheads, stadium giveaways, SGAs as they're known on eBay. Stadium giveaway stuff is great. A couple years ago, I was actually going to the Ogden Raptors games, and I'll tell you what, they were giving away these little tiny bobbleheads, and there was only 500 made. That was the year that the Dodgers were playing really well. Not this last year, but a couple years before that. And there was only 500 made. I actually go with my family. We get quite a few, and I was selling them at the stadium before I left for, I think the most was about 75, 80, and then they went down all the way down to 30 within a couple days. But there was only 500 made. You have to think about, especially with the minor league teams, who the parent team is, who's hot on that team. Are they doing a giveaway for somebody who's a rookie, that's a hot rookie right now, or an all-star? Think of those kind of things. Think of how many are made. Think of where you live. If you're out a ways from where that team is, they can't get it. If they're a super fan and they want, in the Dodgers case, they want a Cody Bellinger or they want a Corey Seager mini bobblehead that was only 500 made, they're going to buy where they can find it. And they found it through me and a few other guys and girls, and it was great. So this is another piece that's similar to that. You can't really see because of the lighting, I'm sorry. This is a Frank Layden. He was the coach before Jerry Sloan of the Utah Jazz, he was the coach in the 80s. These were a stadium giveaway. Back when Singular was around, I used to work for Singular. So that's at least probably about 15 years, probably 10, 15 years. I have sold this before. I've sold other in this kind of set. It's not a bobblehead, but it's a statue. I have sold this before, and I think I got about 20, 25, and it was $4. So not bad for a quick little stop at the Sabres.